Even if you're really busy, it's easy to find some time for table humping. So I wanted to take a minute to compile a list of my favorite tables from Zaccaria Pinball, starting with number 12. Moonflight is a fun trip with a variety of extra ball options. Advance the bonus with the lit target, complete the top rollovers, or spell orbit by hitting the red banks on the right hand side enough times to complete 5 modules. These targets were adjustable in real life. I also appreciate the adequate 7-digit scoreboard, which can't be said about most of the EM generation. Moonflight is bouncy and energetic, but the ball never overstays its voyage to the upper playfield, always gravitating back down to earth to continue testing the theory of relatively easy shots. Blackbelt tells the story of 7 Dans, whose revolving targets you must hit to unlock the ancient orange special. Knocking down a bank of targets advances the red lights and can be hit from either side of the table. Making 2 sets of rollovers in 1 ball unleashes the Kata special, but a true master will need to make the top right Yoko Jerry orbit 16 times if they want to max out their multipliers. The playfield is fairly forgiving with modest outlanes and no cheap bounces, so any failure is on the student. And I really like the intro when the drunk guy tries to say something.
The dragon shows his claws.
The object of Aerobatics is to advance the 5 letters, which can be done by hitting the drop targets or locking your ball into the kickout hole when advanced bonus is lit. The left and top kickout rewards are cycled by the left and right spinners respectively, and includes things like flashing bumpers and 10x bonus values. The back glass shows a pilot making a finger gun, and balls to play written on the fighter jet, so make sure you have testicles before jumping into the cockpit. There's a lot of shots on the table and different ways to approach the goals, making Aerobatics a highlight of the EM series. Space Shuttle has you taking it up the middle 4 times before activating one of the 7 modes, which can be cycled by the slingshots, and the sinkhole stays lit after the ball drains, making life easier. There's a flipper on the top left for a cross shot in the multi-ball lock, and one below that blocks the outlane, which is a clever way to test your rollover cycling skills. There's a knocker hanging over the right lanes, but it's a bit more subtle than the one in Shooting the Rapids. Honorable mentions go out to the sound processing on the voice. There's an old Indian saying that something lives only as long as the last person who remembers it. Shooting the Rapids is a radiant table with timeless features, such as the 5 rollovers representing the 5 civilized tribes, and the vast row of drop targets, symbolizing the Battle of Wounded Knee. Those who seek to control the leaderboards must advance their bonus by stroking the ABC targets and circling the sacred spinner. But beware, as the outlanes offer no recourse for those who have not yet kindled the spiritual light. Circus gets straight to the action by starting you off with multi-ball and a ball save, so you have to suck multiple ways to screw up your game. You can even complete the main modes during this phase, so spell Circus as soon as possible and go for the left orbit. The spot on the bumper activates the mystery lane, and completing all 4 question marks earns a bonus. And you can even advance a mode. The soundtrack is suspenseful and not circusy like you'd expect, trading in clowns and balloons for tightrope falls and animal attacks.
Start mode is lit.
Time Machine tells the story of a wizard that travels to the past to trim his nose hairs. You can select between the past and the future with the flippers at the start of each ball, which changes how you activate the missions, kickbacks, multipliers, and skill shots. The coolest thing about the table is the phantom ball moving around the playfield. Hit that to start a multi-ball, which there'll be plenty of, and it doesn't interrupt your progress on the missions. Time Machine had a lot to live up to considering how memorable the original game was, so I'm glad it did. Time Machine is the free demo that got me into Zaccaria, and for good reasons. The 4 flippers on the bottom elicit many different shots that you just don't see on your typical table. And the gaps created when lifting makes you rely less on cradling. The main goal is to spell Machine, which can be done by completing a set of numbers, letters, or hitting the red light special. The left-hand side will raise or lower the playfield, calling for the future or the past. Time Machine is incredibly unique and asks more from the player by forcing them into a reactive playstyle through its ingenious design. Relive the World Cup quarterfinals in Mexico '86, where you go up against West Germany in a series of penalty kicks to decide who's going to lose to Argentina. The most striking thing about Mexico '86 is its unique layout. The right flipper is placed against the slingshot so you can't rely on cradling, and you need to slam the drop target without hesitation. There's a clear shot from the left flipper to the top right corner which leads you to the mini playfield for a goal kick. Completing enough goals activates the red special. Run out of time and get sent back across the border. Mexico 86 is totally underrated.
Olé, Mexico!
Star God is a virtuous table that's easy to navigate thanks to its multiple pathways and upper playfield. Starting a mission is easy, just rotate the spinner 30 times and make any sinkhole. You'll need to register your balls with 7 multinational organizations before you can possess the Sword of Adder. Hitting the lone spot target 3 times starts a multi-ball, and completing the left or right banks enables kickbacks. Star God finds a great balance among all the elements, providing a worthy challenge for masters while remaining capable of harnessing the inner strength of noobs all over the world. Farfalla is not a type of pasta, but the Italian word for butterfly. The artwork is a trip, and there's a copious amount of drop targets to knock down, and nipples on the back glass, although the digital copy got the censored version. Completing 3 colored bank targets 4 times earns the multi-special, and is a worthy challenge, but what's even tougher is maxing out the multipliers by completing the rollovers tucked away in the back. This is the first table to feature the unique backwards flippers that save your ball from exiting the out lanes. Bear in mind they're disabled during the multi-ball timed events. Farfalla is an awesome table. Magic Castle might look tough because of its weird out lanes, but it's actually relatively easy to keep the ball up. Rotate the left spinner 25 times to increase the multiplier, and the right spinner 15 to light a lock for multi-ball. The mission sinkhole is straight up the middle, and the missions are user-friendly. There's even a flipper on the top left that's used as a door to diverge rails, which gives you even more control with ball placement once you get good. I definitely want to see this done again. Hell yeah, Magic Castle, for the win. All these tables were taken from the Solid State, EM, and Remake series, because they're always adding more deluxe tables, and I only begun to scratch the surface on most of them. In the meantime, go pick up some bundles and share this with anyone who still hasn't discovered Zaccaria yet.